Thank you, Chief Drake. As a city, as a community, it is impossibly difficult to be here once again dealing with the devastation of gun violence in one of our school communities. As a Metro Schools parent, I know how difficult it is to receive a notification of an emergency operation at a Metro school. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to receive the notification that there has been this level of violence in a school community. I want to say as much as I can about my gratitude to Chief Drake, to Dr. Battle, to Director Chief Swan, to our Department of Emergency Communications. The level of first response here once again highlights how important our community of collaboration is. The Family Service Center behind me has been focused on victims and their needs, and we will continue to be focused on that today and for the period to follow. There have been MMPD Wellness Team, there have been the Family Intervention Program, our Nashville Fire Department's EMS division has been deeply involved in this process, and we as a community will continue to rally to ensure that resources are available to those families who have been directly impacted by this incident, and certainly to the school community. I do want to invite Dr. Adrian Battle up to talk about the Metro Schools response. Thank you, everyone.